Raiderettes. They have now sued and they're getting some moolah, Ms. Cornelia?
Yes, there's a settlement in regards to the lawsuit that the Raiderettes filed back in 2014. According to San Francisco Chronicle, nearly 100 cheerleaders who work for the Raiders were awarded in the settlement. So overall, they got their money. But this is something, like I said, resulted in something that they filed in 2014. Now, there are going to be some adjustments in regards to compensation for the Raiderettes. Before, they were being paid $1,250 annually for their services, but now that's being bumped up to $3,200.
Oh wow, like double.
Yeah, and they're also going to be reimbursed for business expenses and travel, and that was a problem before, because the complaint was they weren't getting minimum wage for the work that they were doing. And we hear this a lot across the league. Now, this is just for the Raiderettes. But Megan brought up the good point. She was like, is this across the board, or are we still looking at just for one team?
Yeah, I have a friend who was a Charger girl when it was formerly San Diego Chargers, and now moving up the coast a bit. But she was part of that franchise, and it's one of those things, she did it for the love of her game, which was dance. But it was never, I mean, she always had to have a side job. And it was balancing going to these practices, going to these events to be the female faces of the franchise, and then having to go, do her bartending job at night or go do her waitressing job. And it was one of those things, I think it's this perception that, oh my gosh, you're part of the National Football League. Yes, you're on the sidelines, you're dancing, you're cheerleading, you're a celebrity. You are making money, honey. And she'd be like, unfortunately, we're not. I know her team, they did at least get minimum wage, but for the Raiderettes, it's been something, you've been here longer than we have, and being that this has a local tie, I mean, has that been an issue for a long time? Are you familiar with that?
I know that this has been discussed quite a bit in the last few years, but when you think about the hype of the cheerleading teams for the NFL, you think about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders having a whole show about their organization and these women and what they have to do to be a member of these teams.
It is cutthroat.
It is cutthroat, and honestly, you've got to stay in shape, and so working out should be part of the job that they're getting paid for, because you have to be in physical shape.
Your stomach has to be flat.
Just like the football players, the NFL makes a ton of money when it comes to the TV revenue, when it comes to the advertising dollars. So to not see some of that money coming back to the cheerleading teams, they are helping to pump up the crowds in between shows. I understand that this is not something that, every team has in the NFL. Not every team has an NFL cheerleading squad. But for those that do, I think that it should be absolutely considered full-time job. These women are also going to school part-time, our moms part-time, have other jobs to make ends meet, but they are part of the entertainment crowd. And so I think they should be compensated.
Not just a pretty face to look at, and I think it's a lack of respect for these females. For a long time, cheerleading wasn't considered a sport. We know, I mean, you've been in dance, I was a cheerleader, you were on cheer. You're putting your life at risk. When I was a base, I'm throwing people up in the air, having to catch someone mid-air. I mean, that is their body I was taking care of. And in a sense, there's just always been this lack of respect for the female athlete who is a cheerleader or a dancer and everything that comes with it. So thank you, Raiderettes, for stepping up to the plate and saying, you know what, we deserve better. And I know Cornelia's big on this. You have a problem with something, say something.
Oh, exactly. Now, this is my question, to flip it in the other direction, play devil's advocate. Because now we have technology, everybody's on their cell phone all the time. You Snapchat and you on Instagram video. I'm at the football game. I want everybody in my personal life to know what I'm doing. You're not necessarily paying attention to stuff that's not going on outside of the game. Are we going towards an era where the cheerleaders aren't going to be needed anymore? Because if you get a good DJ, some music playing during the game, you really don't need to see them dancing around and liven up the crowd, because you're not even focusing on that anyway, because now it's all about me. It's like me, Snapchat, Instagram, whoop-de-woo. So are we leaning, especially now that you see lawsuits starting to pop up where women on these squads want more money, and they want to be respected in a way? So is it going to be, are we going to see the kibosh being put down to say, you know what, we don't really need y'all anyway?
As a viewer of the sport, I certainly think they're still necessary, but I think the bigger question is, are they still necessary for the franchise? Because they, you can see people, head of Chargers, head of Raiders, now obviously going to Las Vegas. One of those things, will they, put the kibosh on the cheerleaders, the sideline dancers? Because when you're in Vegas, Raiders, you're going to have a lot of entertaining elements within the brand new stadium. So I don't know if the little dancers on the bottom, on the grass, competing with just the attention that's being put on the players themselves in the game if they're going to be necessary. You bring up a good point, Cornelia. I don't know.
I mean, I definitely think, you know, on the other side of that, I had a lot of friends at Oregon who were on the cheer and dance teams, and they really looked forward to advancing their career in cheerleading for sports teams that
sort
were
of the holy
professional.
grail.
Yeah.
Professional
So this can become just like an artist. You know, they eventually lead to wanting to have their works of art shown on such a bigger scale. And I think for these women, sometimes this is not just a thing they do on the side. They make a career out of it. And it would be sad to see it completely go away. But I think you're right. There are so many other distractions now. Is it worth the money? Is it worth the controversy? Is it worth them not being seen as equal? Because we know that that still happens. And actually someone, Joel David Broussard, just commented on this, and he says 100% correct regarding the cheerleaders. It's sad in 2017 that an organization like the NFL still demeans and doesn't view cheerleaders as gender equals. And it's true. We are in the year of 2017, and that is still the case. And so I think that there would be more backlash if the NFL scrapped it completely rather than handling it.
You mentioned your friends who see this as sort of the holy grail, right? And there are a lot of opportunities because there are a lot of franchises out there. But what's cool about technology and what's cool about the advancements in reality television and television in general is that there are other opportunities now to be a professional dancer on different levels. So you have J-Lo coming out with her new show, right? World of Dance, where they're going to get prize money at the end of this. You have, you know, before that, she had this whole reality show about her backup dancers. I think to become a dancer, backup dancer for a Beyonce, for a J-Lo, for a Lady Gaga, has become maybe the new holy grail.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but at least there are other opportunities out there. I don't think women will be too distraught. It's not like it's back in the day where that was really the only professional option was to go pro as part of the NFL or whatever the sport may be.
I do want to just add in real quickly too, these cheerleaders are not just expected to entertain during the halftime events and then also in between, you know, whatever is happening on the game. Our NFL or our NBA cheerleaders with the Sacramento Kings, there are always 3 to 5 to 10 of them at charity events.
Oh, absolutely.
They're making themselves available to be there for these different nonprofit events and these groups. Yes, and they are just as active on social media. And when they go out in the community, they take pictures with the kids. I mean, it is a full-time job outside of the game. And so I do think that if they are expected to make appearances like that, they should be compensated equally.
Oh, absolutely.
Their calendars that they saw. I mean, there's a
and Tom Brown commented, no, not $1.2 million each. That was the overall settlement to be split up between the people who filed the
It bumped them up though to what?
They bumped them up to per year $3,200
versus about half.
About $1,250. So again, that's when you think about how much time you're putting into this, how much dance rehearsals you're doing, how much of work you're putting into it. You sprain your ankle, you got to get back up on the horse and keep moving. That's not a lot of money at all.
Yep.
So again, I think my question is, again, so is the conversation going to turn into, do we even need you?
Oh, you guys want more money now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because at the end of the day, it's about that money.
Are you worth it?